It's true, it's true. Alrighty, so we'll introduce ourselves. Hi there, I'm Takahata 101 from Team 4-Star. I'm the voice of Napa, Guru, Dende, and
the whole spiel.
And Perfect Cell, baby. And in Helsing, Alucard, and yeah, anything else I will bring it up. Darks and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hi, I'm Kaiser Neko. I voice Yajirobe, King Kai, Turtle, Birder,
Do your Yajirobe.
Yajirobe.
That's so good, Scott.
Alright, that's not fair because first of all, that's basically just Kumar. Guys, stop doing Kumar then. We have to stop those Rangers. I'm not doing Kumar. I'm doing my mom.
So your mom is the whore. Anyway, I'm actually Lane Couture. I do various things with Vegeta, Krillin, Piccolo, co-writer, co-creator, which is what this panel's about, like creation, I think. We're here to talk about creation. How about you?
I'm Kaiser Neko.
You heard it here first, folks.
The one guy who really should be on here. He edited the finale of DBZA. Another round of applause for that.
Yeah, this man is an actual creator. We just make him do things. We chain him to a desk, which is a lot easier now that I live closer to him. It used to have to be a really long key.
I feel like if we ever do a live action series, Scott has to be like a golem-like creature when he's in editing mode, and if you take away his fish, he will attack or bite you.
Yes, on the end for Dragon Ball Z Bridge.
And various other projects.
I also edit Helsing.
Light.
Yeah, I also edit Helsing Ultimate Abridged, which for both projects I am a co-writer. I'm the showrunner for DBZA and voice director. I also play Zarbon, Birder, Trunks, King Kai, Yajirobe, Korin, Turtle, Ingress, Scarlet Jr.
Why not? Because I'm 999 years old. I don't give a.
I don't know if this panel's like PG-13 or not.
I think it's good to keep it that way.
Fuck it. Boom, one. You get one. You get one. Ah, heck.
The spirit of John St. Mother effing John. And in Helsing Ultimate, I also play Pip Bernadotte, and for one episode, I was Kibbles and Bitch, aka Luke Valentine.
And yeah, like we said, tune in to the 18 Plus panel later tonight. You'll get a good sneak peek because Youmacon is where we premiered Helsing Ultimate Abridged, and may as well be where we premiere the beginning of the end.
Alright,
So we literally got here and we all said to each other as soon as we got our little schedules, what's this panel? So somebody please ask a question so that we may figure out what this panel's about. It said something about creators, so I'm guessing it has something to do with...
That Shadow over there!
You, Shadow, what do you have to say about this panel? No, you Shadow. I'm pointing directly at you, yes.
Good question. Inspiration to actually start doing D&D on Twitch.
Frankly, Critical Role. I think that's our assumption.
It's interesting. It's a bit of a snowball effect that happened.
It's something that I've wanted to do forever.
No, it's true.
We didn't have the setup.
We didn't have the setup, and we didn't know if it would do well yet. At that
I was fairly certain.
No, you were certain, but I was
trying to get people in on it.
The thing is, Nick was pushing it for a long time. My sister came and visited me, and she ran a one-shot for Pathfinder, and I'd never played D&D before, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Oh no. Want to do a show? What? Come on, what's the worst that could happen? So now my sister's been the DM of the Unexpectables for a year. Awesome. She deserves a massive shout out. Monty Blues and Sam.
And then Taka and the Unexpectables was finally the push the rest of the guys in the office needed to be can we actually do this?
I showed them the data.
Yeah.
I showed them the data and the numbers and the retention. They're like, okay, there's clearly some legs here, so that's what inspired that.
And finally I got the D&D bug and I started my own little Roll With Me series that I do on Mondays.
Yes,
so.
and I'm happy to be part of that as well.
Yes, I would not have chosen the other player. Except I chose two others.
Yes, it's true. Scott thinks D&D is fake. Like wrestling. Scott.
Yeah, I was.
You were in one of Ben's one-shots with the...
I was
Cassius Clay, the golem.
Yeah, the littlest golem.
Littlest punchy golem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's what inspired the D&D, really. I mean, it was the fact that, first of all, I really like role-playing games. I wanted to get other people in the office who were interested in doing it, and then Taka provided the raw data once he got interested.
Yep. No, and then they got Tips at the Table, which is fantastic, and I was happy to be on that as well. And that's a lot of fun. So yeah. So shout out to Critical Role and the Adventure Zone for getting that ball rolling. Alrighty, Scott, choose somebody, baby.
Alright, cool. Yeah, you look behind you, but I'm pointing at you.
Give descriptions.
So out of everything we've done, what is our favorite line that we've written / voice acted? Dude, you could not have asked a harder question. Actually, I do know one that I'm very, very proud of because to this day it is a very highly quoted line, and it's behind all that. What was it?
Behind all that.
Behind all the bananas.
Behind all that youthful spirit and
Something. There's a real fighter.
Yeah, there's a real fighter, and behind you is a dead man.
Behind all that smarm is a dead man.
Oh, please, Trunks. You couldn't possibly fathom the amount of dead men behind me.
One of your best deliveries, too.
Thank you.
In that episode, it was great.
It was fun. I love Cell. I have a Cell line. One of my favorite lines that I pitched recently for Cell was, "I ain't no helicopter papa, sink or swim, bitch."
I think that's what we eventually refined it into.
I ain't no helicopter papa. We just started laughing.
Helicopter Papa. I think I added the sink or swim bitch line.
I don't remember
Yeah, I remember adding something to that.
your presence.
Yes, I'm always there to help. Favorite thing written, probably episode 60 so far. Favorite thing acted is probably the Helsing Ultimate finale for me.
You did really good in that.
You gave me a lot of meaty lines that I could really chew.
Thanks, Scott really.
I feel like a lot of them were you,
Yeah, I have a thing for writing monologues and speeches.
and I have a thing for delivering them.
Yeah, and yeah, the Major is literally, that is his thing. He gives speeches, he gives monologues, he is a Nazi leader, so you expect him to just go on and on with his dumb bullshit.
There's some Alucard lines in this new episode that might be my favorite in the whole series. There's one in particular, and it's the one where he uses the C word, Scott. Ooh. Now, I can it's two lines of dialogue. I can do it right now, baby. Come on.
But it's not 18 plus.
You're right, that's your
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
It's like, when does he say, oh, that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, I love that. I do love that.
It's because it's a perfect use of it, in my opinion.
It is. It really is.
No, we will have fun with. You will see later. You will see later.
It'll be fun. Fun
Yeah.
will be had.
Yeah. Fun is mandatory at this event.
All right.
And possibly candy, but it's bring your own candy. So it's all really up to you.
BYOC. Candy was the
Yeah, we don't have a candy license. We just got this started last week, so.
Candy's just got legalized.
Okay, you want to call somebody
Oh,
out?
I will.
Call them out.
The lightsaber person.
Gator.
So, how do you deal with having a constantly changing schedule where you don't have a stable work schedule, but you want to be able to work around it for either making videos or doing something like Twitch streaming, and just keep being unable to get to a proper workflow because the moment you think you got things figured out, you got to change things again.
How do we adapt to a ever-changing workflow? And the answer is you don't really.
That's the key to it is being able to adapt.
Yeah.
It's the double-edged sword of like being your own boss. Is that anytime you're not working, you know you're not working.
Yeah, anytime like, oh man, finally I got a little bit of free time, but this needs to get done and it's on my...
Oh no, Red Dead Redemption 2 is out.
Oh
Oh no, I'm my own boss.
no. It can get rough, because it's very hard to divide that personal time from free time, which is why I'm glad we have an office, but even then, it's like I still do a lot of the things that like, God help me, I'm Team 4 Star's accountant, and I do a lot of that work from home, And I never know when to like turn that off and when I need to start working on something else. And sometimes you get inspired to work on something else, and then it's like, oh, but then I have to do this. This has to get done by X, and it's rough. It's always changing, but at the same time,
The job is rewarding,
Yeah.
but it is difficult in a way you don't see until you're in the middle of it. Is it truly just become, am I making the right call here? Because there's no roadmap. When you go into a regular job, you know what you need to do, you know what you need to get done, clock out. For us, when we're not working, we can be working, and when we're working, we could be relaxing. We could make that justification in our head. It's a matter of self-regimenting yourself, and if you're like in your mid-20s and stuff, you're not the best at that.
yeah, it's still something that we're learning to do, and at the same time, it's incredibly rewarding, as it is challenging to those of us that don't know how to manage our time at all. I mean, we have the ability to basically do what we want, so to speak, as long as what we want is, productive toward, making you guys
And legal.
entertained.
I think
We'll skip that one.
I think one of the things that I've had to learn over time is that while you might have trouble marking down the time you have to work and your schedule to work, it is absolutely essential to mark the time that you're not working.
Yeah.
You need to make the time for when you can turn off and get away from your shit.
Like, I have time specifically blocked off that's like, Tuesday evening after TFS at the table, and all day Saturday, I have that reserved for, me and my wife time, basically.
And it can be really difficult during a week, say like in your Monday through Friday. I basically have had to, I can barely schedule a thing a day beforehand, because it's like, okay, at any point in the next 24 hours, I'm pretty sure that another thing could fall onto my plate. Unless
Even worse, it's hard to schedule like 3 weeks ahead of time, because like, okay, yeah, I got this, it should be done by then. Oh crap, things happened and it didn't get done.
It'd be even better when you're trying to schedule with actors, and they have their own schedules you have to coordinate with, and that can be rather frustrating as well. And,
Yeah, working around other people is
I
even harder.
actually, because of what I've been working on the original series I've been developing for the last year, I have been working weekends as well. So I've been taking Tuesday morning/afternoons off.
Funny story about that one. We actually, speaking about scheduling around other people, we actually scheduled a time for me to come up for like a 4-day weekend
Yeah.
to go up to Vancouver to be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna help you film, and we can get some stuff done. All of those guys got sick, and one of them had like a family emergency, so
Yeah.
we got no filming done that entire weekend. But at the same time, we got to hang out, so that was
It's true. You got to be there for 420 in Vancouver.
yeah.
What I can only describe as we were
The 420 before it became legal.
It's true. So we were near the event, and first of all, I have a little bit about this.
Yeah, no, we went down to the beach and
We went down to the beach.
just to see all the.
They started the countdown. It started at 7. It was a weird number to start on.
Yeah, 7, 6,
5, 3, skip 4.
Skipped a couple.
They skipped a couple of numbers. And then we're looking at the distance, and then they all smoked.
And then the clock struck 4:20
Yeah,
on the dot.
now the best-
And it got silent, dead silent.
The best metaphor I can describe for the visuals of what we saw. You ever see, the scene in Independence Day where the aliens blow up the building and the firewall comes towards you?
Running away.
That but smoke. Just coming. This
My asthma rose and it rolled out.
Nick run! Da-da-da. Me and Nick are running, and we're like, oh no!
We're like shoulder to shoulder with all these people that are currently doing it, and we got a bit of secondhand in there.
Yeah.
And we were walking through Vancouver, and I said, like, we were just talking about something. I can't even remember what we were talking about, but I said, Taka, shut up, because I see the 3 greatest words in the English language: coffee, churros, and ice cream. And we went and had coffee, churros, and ice cream, and it was really good.
We were just sitting there slowly eating our food. We didn't outrun it, did we? Got on a bit of a tangent there, but like, just knowing that, like, the lunches like that, the schedule, thrown out the window.
Yep.
It was just completely thrown out the window, and it kind of sucked in a lot of way, but them's the breaks. But one thing I'm happy about is if you're ever sick, like, we give people time off when they're sick, because F that.
We know what that's about.
Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah.
Yeah, schedules are hard, long story short.
your favorite lines? I'd just like to say one that I'm pretty sure we all remember. I'm in San Diego. That's where I am.
I do remember that one.
Where in the world is me?
All right, Zach.
That's spoilers, by the way, for episode 10.
All right, Wigglerhead, what's up?
What would be like one of your favorite gag or fools projects, like a Youmacon, for example?
A Bridget Mod.
Let's do it again. A Bridgemon forever. Ty will be all right. It's the best way to take it. Push that as far as it'll go. Scott, what's wrong? You're hiding.
Everything about that is wrong.
One of my favorites was one that was actually shot at Youmacon 2009, Parody Normal Activity. And Parody Normal Activity 2, the reparodying.
Yeah.
Which it was essentially just a stupid, long story short t-shirt ad. But we just had stupid amounts of fun making those stupid videos.
Yeah. It's just,
It was a lot of fun to film.
remember early YouTube?
Yeah.
I
And don't groan early YouTube, we wouldn't be around without it.
No, I think they're groaning that it's gone, dude.
do. Would you like to see a video of someone watching another video?
Do it!
It's my favorite.
I wonder what part he'll, like, the worst reaction videos are people just sitting there going,
Really? They're like, thanks guys, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe. I'm like, why?
what's worse?
Is that a slow burn? Because this is the most recent video.
I don't even know. Reaction, I don't get reaction videos. Just,
We
I mean, I
wouldn't
get
have
them.
them if it wasn't for the reply girls.
I get them. It's because so like the idea with say watching somebody play a game. What do you want somebody to play a game?
it's their commentary mostly.
Yeah, and you also get to feel like you're in the room, or like watching that person play a game. You're with them. You're enjoying it with them.
I guess.
When somebody's watching something that you really like, the idea is that you are now with an audience of people who talk about it and share your opinions.
Yeah, but then there are the reaction videoists that are like talking over all the parts and then missing everything.
Next question.
Yeah. Go ahead, pick somebody. Kaiser.
We've chosen a lot of guys. Choose a lady.
No, I'm sexist. Actually, there's a lady right over there. Yes, in the orange.
It's a very good voice actor. He can actually pull off top of this perfect zone.
Kill him.
The thing is, though, he lacks the confidence to actually start his own YouTube channel and actually do some voice acting.
Okay.
How can you overcome this?
So
I want an actual creation question.
Yeah, I want to address that point. By the way, my friend can do a really good impression of stuff right there. Impressions are cool. You can be there are professional impressionists.
Yeah.
But impressions mean very little in the actual voice acting world.
Oh no.
Ultimately, while there are definitely professional impressionists out there who make good money, if
They're
you're
called
looking
loopers.
if you're looking to be a voice actor, then you have to develop your own style, your own concepts, your own ideas. Kyle Abear once told me that the best thing you can do with an impression is change it. Take that impression of the laughter of the cat, and then add something to it. Add a graph, something deeper.
I got that same advice from Jim Cummings.
Yeah. Professional.
There's nothing original.
Or more so that an impression that you have, say like, I get a lot of people that come up like doing a Vegeta, like trying to do a facsimile of my Vegeta or my Krillin. It'll never sound 100% dead on. It never will, and that's just the name of the game. But at the same time, that voice you have right there, that's something unique that you have that you can do something else with.
Yeah.
That's a true story. The Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer Simpson, his original Homer Simpson voice, because I used to be a little bit down here a bit more.
Frosty chocolate milkshakes.
It used to be down there. That was literally an impression of his father. That's what he did. He did the audition with his impression of his father, because he was auditioning for a dad.
And you know what the interesting thing about that is? That ties heavily back into, and this is something that ties very much into content creation. Hayao Miyazaki, aka Mr. Spirited Away, La Pizza, Castle in the Sky, and Mononoke.
Mr. Mononoke to
Yeah,
you.
Mr. Mononoke-san, excuse you?
Mononoke Hime's son.
Yes. He once said that the worst thing killing the anime industry were anime fans. And not that there were
How
fans.
dare you!
And he said not that there were fans of the material, but that the fans were suddenly becoming the writers, and all they could do was write the same things that they had seen in anime. When content creators back in the day, the writers, the animators, were drawing and writing from their lives, from the things that they witnessed in person. You want to make a character all your own? Look at the people around you. Look at the world around you. And then take from that. Take from everything around you, but don't take away from, don't just copy the art that you see.
I think the rumor was that J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter because she saw a little boy riding on a train alone, and she thought, what's his story?
Yeah, I can see
That's
that.
that's the rumor I think is rolled around.
Or she murdered another artist for the book.
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's one piece that I want to give to you immediately. Do something that is personal to you. Do your interpretation of life, not the art that you've seen. And that's coming, of course, that's rich coming from us, right?
Yeah, of course, rolling it back around to the original question, which was how do you get him to, get online and do the voice acting stuff? That's hard to say. All of that will really come from within. He has to have the drive to do it if he wants to. I mean, it really does not take a lot to get on there and to just put something out. Honestly, the hardest, I started doing Yu Yu Hakusho Bridge with zero budget, a crappy headset, and the DVDs of Yu Yu Hakusho, and it shows. But
But you went in there with an honesty.
I went in there just you know what, I don't have anything else I want to do, and this is acting is something that I enjoy, and this is the way I can act right now, because I couldn't be in place because I broke my spine at the time. So that's where it came from for me, and at the end of the day, if he wants to get into online voice acting, there are several forums out there in which to do that. There are places to try out for projects, to show what you've got, and if he wants to create his own stuff, then he has to find some stuff that he wants to create.
But to talk about confidence, you have to get to a point where the feeling of success that comes with releasing it will outweigh the feeling of disappointment from people not liking it.
Yeah.
And that is an important,
It's
an important scale. The scale must be more than the other.
It's motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of people way back in the day, back in the the golden age of abridging, when they would put out stuff, they try to put out the newest show and just put things out, and then nobody would watch it for some reason, probably for whatever reason, either maybe their quality wasn't good, or maybe it just got swept under the rug by all the other things people were watching, and these people would get frustrated and stop and get frustrated at those of us that were getting views and getting people
But we stayed with it though.
And
That's the thing we did was we stayed.
yeah,
with
we
it.
stayed with it because it was something that we wanted to do. We weren't in it for the internet fame, because that wasn't even a thing back then. We were doing it because it was something we enjoyed, and for some reason people out there seemed to enjoy what we were doing, and now here we are.
Failure is an inevitability and is the most likely result when you start.
And the greatest teacher.
Yes, you are going to fail, and then you're probably going to fail again, and you're going to keep failing until you get it right.
You're going to fail. Kaiser Nico 2018.
Yeah. But again, as he said, failure is the greatest teacher. It teaches you what you did wrong and how to fix it. So the next time you do it, the likelihood that you fail will go down.
Moreover than that, it teaches you a lot about yourself. How do you deal with failure? What is it that...
Well, I've never failed, so I don't know.
We talked about, oh, wait, yes you have. Oh, we can't bring up that stuff, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I hope I think that was a really good question. Thank you so much for asking, because it kind of opened up a bigger thing about content creation, which is important.
Oh, you sir, right here, front row.
Yes, actually, speaking of content creation, so what has it been like working on Hells versus the previous projects that we've done in the past?
What has it been like working on Hells compared to other projects? Well, I got in that booth and I read some lines. Not much for me, really.
Yeah, same for me. I definitely recorded dialogue.
This guy over here actually ended up writing a bunch of it, so he has more to add here. But I'm going to keep cutting him off.
So So the scriptwriter.
Having a good time, Scott?
So when we script, we have scenes to go by, but lip flaps don't mean shit. We can just have the characters say basically whatever we want as long
Prelay.
yeah, as long as it lines up with the expressions, and even then, I can get an artist in there and change that. And it's been kind of funny because as I've worked with professional, ADR directors, I've slipped my tongue once or twice saying, "Oh man, all these lip flaps, man, too bad you can't do it like we do." Shouldn't say that to official directors. Okay.
No, they agree.
I mean, seriously, they hate us because we can do that.
And that's
No,
why
they
you
hate
don't.
us because we do it.
Yeah.
Not because we can.
Yeah, but that's why you don't say it to them. It's like, oh, I shouldn't rub that in your face. So I was the scriptwriter for Hells. I was the guy who sat down with the translated script, in fact, the subtitle script that's used in the movie, which I have this funny little anecdote about that I'd like to share after I'm done with this. And it was really cool because I had already been doing a lot of dub stuff in my head. I've always sat down with Japanese anime, and the first thing I think of is when I'm watching it, which has ruined a couple for me, is, okay, wait, how would I do this scene? It's really interesting because when you are adapting for lip flaps, oh my god, it is the biggest pain in the ass because the Japanese sentence structure is entirely different from ours. They speak like in Yoda, okay? It's like, going to the store we are, or to the store we have gone, and it's very different than I'm going to the store, or I went to the store. No, have fun with that. And not to mention, watashi no namae wa Scott desu. My name is Scott. I just said the same thing. Yeah, so basically I have to be like, oh hi there, my name is Scott. I just filled up that sentence, but it's never going to come off quite as natural because it was always meant to be shorter and more casual in the Japanese version. So I have to figure out ways to not only communicate what was in that sentence, but in the same tone and intent. That's a nightmare. But it's so cool to get it right. It's so cool to sit down and think, all right, this character talks really, really roughly. Like he doesn't use any of the proper speech that a Japanese person does. So how do I write him in English? Do I write him like a gangster? Do I write him like a ruffian? Like how do I write that character?
I was signaling the staffer to see if there's any bottled water in here because I'm a thirsty bitch.
Yeah.
Is there bottled water in here? Okay, thank you.
So yeah, and that was really cool. And I love working on that kind of stuff. It's really tough, but to see it come to life is so neat. To see my script, read out, it is so cool. And they even kept some of I made some changes that in where the line was very, very dry in the Japanese version, I kept the intent of the line, but I spiced it up a bit. There's a phrase where Rine, the main character, she talks about a guy, she says, wow, he was really cute and awfully friendly too. And so the word I used he was kind and handsome, what a total chocolate box. And a chocolate box is someone that is, looks beautiful on the outside and is sweet on the inside. So that's the idea of the chocolate box, and it was a phrase.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so that made it in there. All that kind of stuff. And that's what you need to do with scripts like that, by the way. To make them sound more natural than English, you have to find things that we would say. We use turns of phrase all the time. We use sarcasm. We use references.
That's time to make the donuts.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'd like to point out, by the way...
Say your real favorite super line, guys. You know the one. Don't shoot this man.
Not black.
Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Every time I hear that, I just see Sam sitting in the other room going,
That is a line in Dragon Ball Super, by the way.
it made it to not.
Don't shoot that man.
No, hold your fire.
Hold your fire.
Hold your
This
fire.
man isn't black.
But the last thing I want to say...
That's a yikes from me, Cap.
The last thing that I want to say was, it was really cool because as somebody who knows Japanese, and not a ton, but enough to...
Like at a 4th grade level?
Yeah, about kindergarten. So when
I
I was...
understand it at a 2-year-old level.
When I was actually...
Nani?
Hold on. I've gone long, so let me finish. was this line in the original Japanese version, and when I was doing the translation, I not only had the subtitle script, I looked at the manga that it was based off of, because I had a couple of lines where I'm like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing here, and the original script is not giving me enough context. So I looked at the manga, and then I noticed something. There is a scene in there where they reference the name of a group of characters. In the original subtitle script, it just has them calling the characters this thing. And I'll tell you, they're called gutter rats. In the original script, they're the gutter rats. And I looked at the script, I'm like, no, they're just calling them gutter rats. What's up here? Oh, it's supposed to be their team name. So I contacted them and I said, hey guys, this is wrong. This is supposed to be their team name. They took a second look at it and they said, oh hey, would you mind coming into this Discord chat? Sure. Hey, this is the subtitle guy. Tell him what he told me. You're fired! I'm like, you messed up on this, sir. But they were really good about it. They took the input, and I believe in the subtitle script and in the dub now, we fixed that. And that was really cool. Like, working close to the vest on it, I was able to find something out that the subtitle guy didn't figure out. And the other thing was, and this was another cool thing, actually, you know what? There was another cool one later on that had to do with the Japanese word for deer being very close to you. And so I ended up fixing a part of the script where these two characters were in a relationship, and that almost got passed up entirely because of one small translation issue. And I was like, no, wait, hold on! They're supposed to be a couple. We put this in the script.
Yeah, so it's very different working on something like that.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Wow.
This is something
It's something that he hasn't had a chance to really talk about, so you just kind of opened a can of worms on that one.
Yeah.
Tell me more about.
There are a lot more worms in it.
Scott, tell me more about your process.
All right. Doc, would you like to pick somebody?
No, that was actually really interesting to hear the process for
yeah.
that done. Honestly, all joking aside, we don't mean to besmirch that, but seriously, that's really cool that you jumped from what we do with the original to that, which is an even more hyper-focused world. And you did a good job, dude.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
You'll be able to see in a few weeks.
It's true. That's true.
I have a lot to say about it real quick. There's a character named Elvis. He looks like the devil. He dresses like Elvis, and I got to put in so many Elvis quotes.
Is he sad? Is he bluer than his blue suede shoes? Your question right there. Well, I think Dragon Ball.
It was his favorite show.
It was his favorite show. That was it. I asked him in a Skype call. A Skype call. Oh yes, we're going way back. Old Skype. I asked Scott, if you could abridge any show, what would it be?
Dragon Ball, duh.
Well, why don't you do it?
Because Masako and Nick are already, or Masako and Lenny Bator are already doing their version.
Well, why don't you ask them to be in it?
Oh, they wouldn't want to do that.
Dude, they comment on your videos and they rated it 4 stars out of 5. They liked it.
I know, but I just felt like it would be too much.
Dude, just do it.
I don't know, it just seems like it's weird.
Just do it. My mind. Do it, do it. Let me sneak on board this mighty ship you're gonna build. I'll take anything. I'll even voice beeping Yajirobe. I don't give 2 craps.
And then you didn't voice Yajirobe.
It's true, I got
And then you went on to voice every major character in the arts.
That is not true, wait. Yes. Vegeta, look, I'm a leech.
Yes, you are.
Give me back my blood!
Wrong character!
It's true. But no, it was really just kind of, it was a perfect storm of the team kind of being formed up, and then the 3 of us just got in a call, and we tried writing, and oh crap, this is actually really good.
Basically they came and said yeah, we wanted to do Dragon Ball, would you be interested? I'm like, yes, 2 conditions. I want to be on the writing team, and I want to play Vegeta.
We had to convince him a little bit though. Oh gee guys, I don't know. There's those other Dragon Ball bridges, and I don't want to step on their toes. And now Nick would be like,
I don't want to step on their toes, I want to step on their corpse.
because remember you said we got some messages when we started the movies. How dare you? We're going to be abridging the entire show. And they hadn't released an episode yet.
Yeah, we long time ago we were doing
old YouTube.
Yeah, old YouTube. Masako, a man called Vegeta 3986, and myself were doing the Dragon Ball movies just because we were friends and we thought yeah, look, we don't want to take on that entire series, but the movies, yeah, that should be easy enough. We made it through 2 of them, and then Team 4 Star happened.
Yep.
Rest is history.
Trunks' history. Scott, speaking of Trunks, Scott asked somebody.
All right.
There's a movie going on over there.
This is the perfect time because I was going to ask about casting. So you guys just explained how you guys get better. As the Team 4-star cast has expanded, was there any process of like finding auditions or just like I know someone who's perfect for this?
The question was how do we go about casting, and it's interesting how that process has changed.
Yeah, because back when it was just a couple of
It was just
us.
a grab bag,
Yeah.
and I was already playing like 3 characters. I'm like,
Hey, take it, Goldo. No one took it. I ran off with Goldo.
Oh, you say that like casting the Ginyu Force wasn't the total pain in the ass, and
it was hard.
Well, because originally, true story, I was supposed to play Raccoon with my second form Cell voice, but since I was playing Perfect Cell, Scott was going to be playing the 2 forms of Cell prior. Then we realized we should just have maybe one.
Just have one guy do it.
Just have one guy do it. So then I had to give up I had to give up Birder and Raccoon because I was going to voice both of them. I was going to play Birder like this, which is like
Just be very close to
it's
your
Cell.
perfect,
It's
yeah.
just a perfect Cell, and that was the thing.
Then I ended up playing with my least memorable voice.
Hey, you did a really good job on that, Scott, and he's our first LGBT character in the show. Birder is gay the entire time, and someone's like, no, he's not.
Don't bring it up. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
He doesn't need to talk about it.
My sexuality is none of your business.
It's true.
But yeah, the process changed very much. Like at first it was very much a grab bag. I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play this. And eventually we got to like season 2 where we actually spent more time on the casting process of everything. And funny enough, Martin, Little Karibo, originally auditioned to play Captain Ginyu.
But what he did was he made a video
He made-
of the scene between him and Frieza.
And we were like, holy shit, his Frieza. Because I was originally scheduled to play Frieza, and I was just going to do a Linda Young impression.
Can we hear your Frieza?
Oh, it was somewhere around here. Dirty monkey.
Yeah, just... My voice has changed over the years. I can't switch it.
But then we had Martin Melanie, who crushed it.
Fucking murdered it.
Although, then, considering the way that a lot of the casting did happen at the very beginning, there's a reason that I play Yajirobe, Corn, Turtle, Oolong.
Because you're the editor, and it's like, I don't have somebody for this, fuck it.
Yeah, you just
Right?
But we had to. But we had to. True story. We had to convince Scott to take Trunks because he felt like he wouldn't do a good job.
He wanted to be 17.
He kept trying to hand Scott. Scott kept trying to hand away Trunks to other actors, and we had to sit him down.
Say, stop it.
Scott.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because
You're amazing at it.
Trunks is my favorite character in the show. And when I tell people that, I feel guilty because I'm like, please don't think that I took Trunks because he was my favorite. I tried to...
Cell's my perfect character, and I totally steamrolled everyone with that baby.
Like, you were talking about, like, you were afraid of not being able to do him justice, and we're like, shut up! Shut up and read the lines!
Read the lines, son of Vegeta. Boy, read!
Yeah, the casting process has changed significantly. Especially, like, Martin was the one that first, like, that we had an actual audition.
Yeah.
17 was a really tough one. It came down to Gon, who played 17, and Howard, what has he done in Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
Oh, Howard,
He was Aaron in Attack on Titan Abridged.
Yeah. He was also the out of your face guy.
We're gonna.
And he was also the concierge in the hotel in Brazil. White Chicks is amazing. White Chicks is amazing.
He's doing his best, Liam O'Brien.
Yes.
Actually, I'll tell you right now. You know what the hardest character to cast has been? Gohan.
Oh.
Yeah. We're still in the middle of that process.
We had one, but then he got real busy.
Yeah,
Something about voicing a major character in a major shonen anime. Something My Hero something.
My Hero Bakamania.
We're actually really lucky we were able to keep him on his cloud.
It's true. We got him before he was high. Because I saw the sizzle happening.
Alright, so...
Next question. Oh my. It's your turn.
Rapier in the back.
Captain Harlock.
Still a sword.
It's both. It's like the most convenient
Get
weapon in
on
the world.
with it.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, I just want to say, as a fan of you guys, and I do a lot of fan subbing myself, but I do appreciate the process. You guys have done awesome. I'm so excited to see Hells. You know, I love archiving, so seeing stuff from you guys, it's awesome, really. That's all I want.
Thanks, man.
You guys are great.
That wasn't really a question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the compliment, though, dude.
Let's see. Let's go Pokemon trainer. Oh, sorry. The second one on that line.
Not the other one, the second one.
You with the red. Yeah,
There are 3 Pokemon trainers in that area.
Oh my God!
You really stepped on a landmine there, Nick.
Pointing at your head.
Oh, God.
Infuriating part of the content creation process.
The most infuriating part of the content creation process.
Someone's saying they can do it better in the comments.
Actually, you know what? Yes.
I'm like, what? It's just like 15 minutes of dialogue. I could do that in like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, I would love you to record doing that, please, and post it online so I can rip into you. Do a reaction. Do it, YouTube comment person. I want you to do it. And then I'll date your mom afterwards. Because I'll be your daddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, and let me put it to you this way. We're idiots who read our YouTube comments. Never read your YouTube comments, because
you can read YouTube, just treat it like data.
well, kind of, because here's the thing about YouTube comments. They don't actually matter all that much. While it is cool to get feedback from your fan base, and that's cool, when people, and I'm saying this to my fans, and I love you guys, but ultimately, feedback from your fans is only a part of the process. Because if you get this huge, overwhelming thing of mixed opinions, people who loved it, people who hated it, people who were mad on it.
This is like your worst episode.
This is your best episode ever.
Yeah, what are you getting out of that? When you want
People have
feedback,
different tastes.
yeah, when you want feedback, you sit down, you look for the people you want to talk to, and then you ask them. Which isn't to say, guys, don't give us feedback, don't voice your own opinion.
No, always like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, or RSV.
But the YouTube comments are not meant for the creators to read. They're really for the people to talk.
Yeah.
They're for the people to talk to each other and communicate and talk about the things that they liked. But you as the creator, you need to be looking to the people you want opinions from.
Yeah.
And so that's been the hardest thing for us is to be like, okay, we've got to take a step away from the comments and not listen to them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get all these mixed opinions. Which one do you listen to?
At the end of the day, what we do is we try to make content that we would enjoy watching, content that we're happy with, and we just hope that our opinions are the same as many people as are going to watch it.
I have a way of looking at this real fast to wrap up this question, I think. Making comedy or entertainment is like making food. There's so many different kinds of food. There's so many kinds of fusions. Not everyone's gonna like Chinese. Some people are only gonna like Italian.
Racists.
Hey. But in the end, there'll be dishes that people prefer, dishes people are okay with, and dishes people will not like. And in the end, not everyone's gonna like what you make. That's okay. That's not personal. There's lots of stuff you don't like either. Same thing goes.
For me, the writing process, the most frustrating part. Anyway.
Is it because of me?
No, it's just because every now and again.
Scott, isn't it? Scott, isn't it?
Every now and again we get into like one of those writing block moments where it's just like, oh, we cannot push our way through this scene as hard as we try. And like, you have to literally stop and walk away from it, and having to do that is frustrating when you only have so many scheduled, like so many times that you're scripting during the week.
Yeah. I think it'd be nothing worse than like saying like, well, just write something down and then settling.
Oh, that's the most painful feeling ever. I want to get someone from the left side.
But who's it gonna be?
You in the farthest left. You. Yeah.
Just look behind.
Yeah, you.
So I remember a while back, you guys said that when you were doing road and a bunch of stuff, you thought of, oh, we can do this, but then you were using that footage. What was some of those ideas?
Some of the scrapped ideas for Broly? One of them was that Broly was essentially just a hyper fan of the group and just wanted to be a part of them. But Goku hated him.
Goku hated Broly so much.
And Paragus was the dad who just wanted to get his son in there and did not realize just how annoying he was. He's that guy who's like, please, could you let my son in? Would you just mind? Like,
He's essentially a Dragon Ball fanboy who tried to self-insert himself into the adventure.
He's a Gary Stu self-insert that
I'm strongest and the most powerful, and everyone will love me.
I have a really, like, some of that boiled over, like, probably someone with a really high power level.
And then there was also the idea of like one where he was a reluctant teen who didn't want a part of it, but his dad was going to push him.
But yeah, those weren't going to work because
the footage didn't work.
Yeah. And just
there's not enough of Broly.
And to spin this into a content creation thing, by the way, so if you are ever writing something or if you're ever trying to come up with an idea for something, you are constantly, and this is something you've got to learn early on, going to toss ideas out. You were going to work on one, you were going to put your all into it, you're going to get up just to the finish line, and you're going to realize this doesn't work.
There are so many jokes where we'd be like, oh, come on, but maybe if we could, no. But please, no.
Yep, and there are going to be some times where the joke might work, but it doesn't work with everything else.
Yeah.
And you have to consider the whole. Kill your darlings, kill them all. And it's
Except for Napa, we landed that one pretty bad.
It's gotten it's gotten easier since we've had actual animators and stuff. But
Yay!
Yeah, and it's
Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you so much.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Is that 5 minutes or a freeze of 5 minutes?
I think it's a regular 5 minutes.
Oh man, that's not long.
Yeah.
All right, go Skia.
You're right there. Yep.
Was there a moment where you guys had a bad case of writer's block?
Yes, all the time.
So how did you guys deal with that?
Again, often it's usually, you know what?
Let's
Set
walk
it
away.
down, walk away, let yourself reboot. Because you oftentimes writer's block comes from going down a certain road for so long that you can't get out of it.
Yeah, you can't see any other path forward.
Yeah, you can't see the forest for the trees because now you're just focused.
I get angry that they don't like my idea.
And we get frustrated that he keeps pitching bad ideas.
Trunks should have no. Seriously, Bulma should hook up with adult Gohan in the Trunks movie. I will shut this session down.
You just have to hit him hard enough, and eventually a good one will come.
Actually, it is sort of funny because we all have our different writing styles, and that's something that you got to get used to too. Is that
especially working as a team?
Yeah, some people are refiners. This guy can take any of my jokes and then make it better. And I love that. I love having somebody who I can lay groundwork for something. I get things started. He refines it.
And I can take any of his jokes and have them make sense.
Actually,
hey, that's half of the things with me.
The thing that I love about you, Kurt, is that we can be in an
He's an
impasse.
idea machine.
Yeah, we can be in an impasse, and then he'll just come out of this fifth dimension and knock it. I don't know where some of the things that your brain goes, but it's great. And the cool thing about him is he's a machine gun. He may not hit the target every time, but he'll throw enough ideas to where finally it'll hit, and it's gold.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot, actually.
And he's the one that connects the dots.
Yeah, and Scott, the amount of writing that Scott will improve stuff visually.
Yeah.
He will make jokes funnier because of his visuals, and he will no, check the timing on
And he
this.
also super reins us in because, guys, footage.
Yeah.
He has to.
No! I don't want it!
I hate being that asshole, but I have to be like, guys, I love where you're going.
I have
Go back 3 steps.
I have 2 shots of these people talking.
Can they just talk when they're not facing each other? Stop pitching that! It's been 7 years, Kurt, and I'm never gonna do it! You will one day, Scott!
Yoshi.
You were waiting this whole time!
Where's your turban? Who robbed you?
Favorite part to a bridge? Oh man, that's
Actually, I'm gonna be quiet.
60 episodes later.
Imperfect sound! Imperfect sound! Imperfect sound! That was so much fun.
Very well might be Lord Slug for me, just because there is so much gold in that movie that I love.
Please don't break my arm.
I still have a great fondness for the Namek saga. I do go back sometimes and I look and I cannot believe that we made this shit work because there are 5 things going on at any time. The way scenes float into each other. I was going to say, don't, oh God.
Come and get me Frieza, but that works too.
Yeah, that joke, I went back and like, oh my god, how did we make that work?
Not to mention, it was the most characters we've ever had to bounce off each other. Like, it was probably like the most freeing we've ever had as like writers.
Yeah.
And I remember we were so scared because we had this great dynamic between Frieza and Vegeta. It's like, oh man, Vegeta's gone, then Goku's there. It's like, how's this gonna work? Oh my god, Goku doesn't understand anything he's saying and just replies literally. This is amazing. Without realizing it, we had the perfect foil.
Yep. And
Vegeta, explain.
Vegeta, explain!
Unfortunately, while I love you guys and we've loved being able to answer your questions, we are now currently out of time.
Yeah, we will be on for our 18 plus panel tonight at 9.